Hello, we're back with video number 4. Thank you for continuing this journey with me. I really appreciate your attention and your commitment to knowing yourself and also being willing to understand these concepts that are really deep and also very powerful. And they can be kind of overwhelming and complex. So, just a little small reminder to take a deep breath, to give yourself um, patience and compassion as we go through this process of learning the basics. I don't know how many freaking hours I've spent reviewing this information, digesting it, practicing it, learning different techniques, um, and investigating energy medicine, different modalities, different therapies, trying all kinds of things. And I get to fulfill on my design to be able to share with you the most potent parts of everything that I've learned. And so um, I'm getting to live, in alignment with my design and all this investigation and trying different things and seeing what works and what doesn't work is a hallmark attribute of a manifesting generator. Plus, I'm a 1-3, which means I am here to investigate for myself information to know what's true for me and also to feel confident to go out there and try different things and see what works and what doesn't. And I've offered human design in many different ways. And so it gives me great pleasure to be able to give this information that I've learned for free and then invite you to continue to work with me one on one if that so interests you to go deeper and to understand a little bit more about yourself and diving into the shadow aspects and also allowing me to use light language to be able to help illuminate the shadows that may be causing you some resistance or trepidation or lack of clarity. Or if you see repeating patterns happening that you just don't understand or you can't get out of the dark, and you feel like you just need someone to help you see, you can borrow my eyes and also my voice and also my connection to intuition and other dimensional information that I have access to. So it's a wonderful experience to be on both sides, I believe. So we're going to dive in now to this video, number 4, and we're going to talk about the authority. But first, I just want to remind you a couple things. Human design is really a scientific representation of a blueprint that our beingness is taking the shape of when we're born here on this planet, and it's giving us access to have something to rely on that is absent of dogma or faith or beliefs, and that's something that we can use as like empirical data or empirical framework to find out for ourselves, see through the veil, so to speak, of our true nature and what lessons and we're here to learn so that we can live a life with the greatest fulfillment, with clarity, with prosperity, with the ability to thrive. So, human design basically, the premise is that we're here to thrive when we live by our uniqueness. And so, um, we anyone who's utilizing human design believes or knows and trusts that human design will help accentuate someone's true nature. And it's not up to us to decide that, it's within you. And so, this is another reason why I have faith in this, is because I have it in my heart that every human being has the capacity to know what's true for them and to know what's best for them. And I'm like, here, let me give you the keys to the car and let me give you back your authority because we just forgot that we have a direct connection to our own truth and to infinite information and infinite solutions, and we just need to be redirected back. And so this is a way for me to fulfill on that and to give people back the keys to their car and their kingdom, and to find ways to do that really fast, quickly, and effectively. Um, so this is basically what I'm saying. There's ease when you get to know your human design. It will help you know how to navigate decision making that's best for you, and you can rely on it. You can begin to understand and feel the way that your design is integrating with the environment, and how you can best utilize your mind instead of your mind ruling you. It will give you clarity. It will give you clarity on who you are and what other people are, especially if you have children. This will help you understand their natural ways and the ways they get frustrated, and they're experiencing frustration or anger or bitterness. These are the signature emotional themes that we can identify and look into, and then know how to support them so that they can embrace who they are without the conditioning um, that we've accumulated along the way. And so we can all become more aligned together. And the crazy thing is that every time you make an aligned choice, you give someone else the freedom to make their aligned choice happen too. And I just had this happen to me yesterday. It was amazing because I had made an agreement to be with someone on Thanksgiving, and the days leading up to it, I started to feel like it wasn't anymore. It was It was definitely And I sat with it and I let myself be with it for at least 24 hours. And I got really clear about it. It was consistent even though it changed. And I had to move through with faith and trust that it was the best thing for me. And whatever is the best for me is going to be the best for the other person. And so I set the person free, and I honored my no. And even though I made it a commitment, and my mind would say, hey, that's not being integrity. You gave them your word and you're not following through. That's wrong. So I overrid that habit and that conditioning to be honest and truthful and make a request that we cancel the plans. And then he sent me a text back later saying, oh my God, I'm so glad that you told me no, because now I have the most amazing invitation that I get to go fulfill on. And he gave me praise and thanks or gratitude, whatever, for making that happen for him. So you can see how that every time, even the smallest honoring your own truth and your authority will make a difference, not only for you, but for the world. So when we're all following our design, then we get to have peace on earth. So this is the verifiability, the reliability, the empirical evidence that we develop as we try this on, so you can experiment for yourself how this works for you. And the more and more you start to follow, you will see that things just magically start to fall into place, and synchronicities happen, and you get put in with the right place at the right time, and life gets easier, and we don't have to work as hard and pushing against resistance, and not honoring the resistance within us. And then when we honor the resistance within us and see where it's coming from, the resistance on the outside melts away. So I'm going to go through the authorities, and these so we already went over the type, right? So you know how your type is meant to navigate in relationship. So this is your strategy. And sometimes if we've been conditioned in a certain way to strategize ourselves in the world, then this could be a hang up or a place to start. And at least to start to test the waters a bit with things that you have questions about. The next step is to discover your inner authority. So how we make decisions. And this is also very important to follow and to learn to trust, because we probably may, if you're experiencing a lot of confusion or doubt or lack of self-confidence, and being in the dark about things and trying things and making the same mistakes, or feeling like you're just not getting anywhere with the way that you're being, then knowing and discovering your authority is really essential to making this all work for you. And the signature is how we experience our emotions, and when we know that we're acting from our design, our true self, we're not acting as our conditioning would say. We are acting as our true, unique expression that we are. And every single person on this planet has a unique way of being. And when we discover our uniqueness and start to honor that uniqueness, then that's when everything starts to work out. And that's this evolution and this creative experience that we're having on the planet, is we're learning to allow our uniqueness to guide us. And we're all learning to be individuals, our individual self, trust that our individuality and our weirdness is exactly what the universe is looking for us to be us. So we're going to talk for this video very quickly, because the authority is something that's unique for each person, and each person will need to investigate this for themselves uniquely. And I don't want to bore everyone with these, because we can go into this in more detail later, or on a one-on-one session. So for your inner authority, this is where you get your yes, your no, how to respond to what the world presents to you, your environment presents to you, how to engage with other people and make decisions, okay? It's not from outside of ourselves, and it's not from our conditioning, and it's not what society says. It's what we get from the inside. So we're switching our orientation from external authority to an internal authority. The solar plexus, if you have the solar plexus defined, this automatically makes you a person to have an emotional authority. Emotional authority people are, I think, over 50% of the population. So we're all moving more so into the emotional body, to allow the emotional body to give us direction. Okay, previously we've been working from the mind. We're shifting into the body and allowing the emotional energy to make decisions for us. You can see how this is a way more effective way, because our minds only have a very small amount of information to make decisions from. Our emotional body is sensing the environment around us in a multidimensional way. Our heartbeat can be felt from miles away. So if we rely on this like beyond imaginable database that's helping to direct us, we can relax, because our minds can't possibly consider all of the different opportunities or where to go, like get me in the right place at the right time. We cannot calculate that. So we have to rely on the unseen, the unknown, but we can trust the messaging that's going on from our inner authority once we recognize it. The emotional authority, for our emotional beings, we must wait for the emotions to run through us to have clarity. So this has been a big lesson for me. I used to make a lot of decisions in the moment when I felt excited, and then I would run out of energy for that, or I'd run out of interest, and then I would make myself wrong for it. So if you're an emotional centered person, that means your solar plexus is defined. You're using your internal authority to make decisions after you let your emotions run through you. That might mean someone invites you to something, and initially it's a nah, that doesn't feel right for me. After time, maybe you move through something emotionally, and now it's time to go, and you're like, oh, I think I want to go. I have the energy for that now. So no longer is knowing the answer in the moment for a solar plexus definition to be true. You have to allow yourself the grace to make to change your mind or to change your answer. So you're really giving yourself time to process and to be with any decision. Manifestors with an emotional authority are the only ones who authority goes first and then the strategy second. Emotional manifestors have to wait some time to gain clarity about a decision before they inform those who will be impacted by their decision. So, emotional manifestors, which I know some, they get a lot of emotional information coming at them, and it takes a lot of time for emotional authority manifestors to feel like they know what the thing is to take action on or allow their creativity to get clear. So this is important information for manifestors. Okay. Um, Sorry, that's the same thing. Sacral centers. So the sacral center is defined without the solar plexus. This is the generator types only. This means that they don't have to wait for the emotional waves to move through them. They're gonna always have a consistent or that comes from their sacral center that will tell them to what their answer is. And so you have emotional and sacral centered beings that need to make these types of decisions need to practice, if you're out of touch with answering questions based on yes and no questions, answering questions that are yes or no based. So give yourself the opportunities to practice this. It feels like a gut response, and or your body will feel contracted if it's a no, or like open if it's a yes. So there's many different ways we can practice and experience this if this is you. The splenic authority, it will say it in your chart, what your authority is, and this is when your spleen is defined and there is no definition in the solar plexus or the sacral center, and this is when you are making decisions with your intuition. And everyone's intuition is unique to them, so um, it's important to start to recognize the way that your intuition talks to you, and you can explore this with your authority and using small little examples to test yourself, and or looking back in your life when you followed some intuition and it like worked out. So like someone gave an example, I just recently heard they were following their intuition, they were a projector, and they got this like sound in their head like, oh, she was buying breakfast, and she got the message like, hey, you need to go buy this sandwich over there, go buy the sandwich. And she's like, okay. So she didn't really know why, because she already had ordered her breakfast and she was excited about her breakfast. For some reason there was this intuitive hit like, go get a sandwich. And later on she realized that she bought the sandwich for her family member who was hungry and didn't have anything to eat. So you can see how by following your design like explicitly like that with full faith that like that your body knows what is needed and what is necessary and what is best. If she didn't listen, she wouldn't have the sandwich, and then her loved one wouldn't have food, and that would have changed the whole course of their experience, and how just that one small act can have ripple effects in our life. If like she's not honoring her intuition, then that causes all kinds of different effects from that cause. So you can see how we can be a cause for peace for everyone around us, and that gives an opportunity for peace to be rippled out into the world. Amazing. Okay. These smaller examples are very few people, so I'm just going to roll through them quickly. If you are one of these unique beings, then I highly encourage you to have someone help you with this. If you feel like you're having trouble distinguishing your inner authority, and it would be helpful to go deeper into that on a one-on-one consultation. So an ego manifested, this is for manifestors only, of which there's only like 8% in the population, so very small. Ego manifested authority, it's the heart center is connected directly to the throat, and they must listen to what they say in order to know their truth. So it's like they must bounce off um, things to other people in order to know what resonates and what doesn't. Ego projected projectors, another small portion of the population, when the heart is connected to the G center, which is in the center of our chest, our high heart, and they have to ask themselves, will this fulfill me, or do I really want this? So it's like an internal kind of conversation with themselves. This is the self-projector. This is the self-projected projector when the G center is connected to the throat, and they have to listen to their own voice. So clarity comes through their voice and tones and words, and trust their spontaneous utterances. So like whatever they're questioning, they can speak it out and know what's true or what's not true for them. So it's like sound recognition. The environment, this is projector only. They have no mental or inner authority at all. So any combination of defined head, ajna, or throat, but no definition in the throat center. They have trusted advisors to help use as their sounding boards in order to hear their own voice. So they use their environment to know what's right or what's wrong for them. So they must rely on getting them in places and with the people that actually light them up and makes them feel good, so that they know that they can trust their environment to give them accurate feedback for making decisions. This is for all of my reflectors, which is 1% of the population, of which I know 2 personally. They need to spend at least 28 days on major decisions, contemplating, discussing it, running it through their systems, and allowing the information to run through them so that they can make a clear and conscious best choice for themselves. So this is the end of all the options for how we can activate our inner authority. If you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. You can send me an email, or we can schedule a deeper dive conversation. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.